welcome back to another episode of Stunder Stories. Big news this week for us is that our channel has finally hit just over 100 subscribers, which is super awesome.
Yay!
So thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed, who have been liking the videos, who've been watching regularly. We've been doing really well, and it's really great because we haven't been doing this for very long. So for us, like 100 subscribers, that's pretty good. That's a lot of people, and we really appreciate the 100 of you that are around. Just over, I think it's 103 right now as I record this. So yeah, a massive thank you to get this far. Let's aim, let's keep growing, and we hope you guys are enjoying the stories. So before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Enjoy, watch it till the end, and yeah, stick around. So this week, or actually, if I'm being honest with you, this is the honey video, the bee video I promised you guys like a week ago, and I'm really sorry I didn't get to it. So just to apologize for that, we've been house sitting this week. So it's been a bit like, haven't been around our normal environment, the Wi-Fi is a bit slower, and then on top of house sitting, we're in the process of moving. So we're finally heading out of Stacy's parents' place, which is really great. We're gonna rent a place from Stacy's uncle, which is really cool. He's been very helpful. We're really excited. It's really cool. The sad news is that means less farm videos, so but we can get into some more other stuff that we're doing. There's still a lot happening in the community, and we're still going to be seeing Stacy's family and parents a lot, so like we'll go spend time with them. So, but more about the move next week. Anyways, this week's main focus is the bees, harvesting honey. So my father-in-law, Stacy's dad, has a couple of beehives, and it is his absolute joy in life. Like, he loves his honey and he loves his bees, and it's really amazing to see him like light up when he talks about his bees and his honey, and he really loves it. And so it started out as a pretty like a smaller hobby. So because we're out here in the wilderness of Paraguay, you often get beehives, just kind of the bees make a hive inside poles, on trees, inside rooms that aren't very busy, and that can be a bit inconvenient because for those of you who don't know bees get upset very easily. So when you have very loud, heavy machinery like tractors, lawnmowers, motorbikes, and pretty much anything that makes noise, the bees get upset and they get a little stingy. So Stacy's dad kind of started on his farm. He put up a few hives because then you can kind of lure the bees away from wherever they are, put them in a hive in a place where it's safer, and then you know they're there. So you know like where you need to be more quiet on the farm or more cautious. And bees make honey. So he started harvesting honey and he found a real love for it. And then he started, other farmers were like, well, we've got problems with bees. So they were like, can you come and put hives up on our farms and our ranches? So he's got hives like kind of all over the area on a few different farms on some of the ranches. So the other day it came time, there was a ranch, it's pretty far away from the house. So it was like kind of, we were expecting a whole day's affair. Like we were gonna be out there for the whole day, no internet. Like the house there is literally like a quick, small, it's not built for staying out there for extended periods of time. And we were prepared for that. And luckily it only took half a day, but we had a blast. And he kind of came in, and I was ready to just kind of go with and help out, carry some stuff around. And he came in, he's like, I got another bee suit. So like, basically he was like, I've got an extra suit. If you want in, I've got equipment, you can come and join us. So it was really cool. I got to join him and another very close family friend he's kind of like Stacy's dad's like best friend. They're always around with each other, playing jokes, laughing, and he's almost like an uncle, but not blood uncle to Stacy. Really cool guy, and they're massively helpful to Stacy and myself. And so all of us headed out, both families, and we went out to this farm. I think it's his son-in-law's ranch that we were doing this on. There's 4 hives out there. So we arrived at the ranch, first thing, pitched the tent. We have the bee tent. And so basically what this tent does is so they bought one of those like gazebos, I think you call them. Might have used the wrong name, but anyways. And then Stacy's mom made that black mesh that you can see around it. So what we do is we pitch this tent and we kind of do all the work with the honey inside there, because the netting helps to keep any stray bees away that might come, hunting for their honey. And they get a little, as bees do, get a little stingy. And so the net is there to help those who are harvesting, because we don't all have bee suits. So the only ones with bee suits are me, Stacy's dad, and the friend. who were going out and actually working directly with the hives. So we pitched this tent up, get all the equipment inside, we'll explain the equipment as we go along, and then it was time to go. There were 4 hives to harvest, so the first one is the video you're watching now. My first time approaching a beehive in my bee suit, and I really had fun. It was really cool. It was a little bit scary because I didn't know, like I've never done it before. I didn't know how protected I was in the suit. Like sometimes the mesh on the face like touches your nose and you're like, oh my gosh, if a bee figures this out, you know, ouch. So we went to the hive and it was really cool. I got to watch as we took the smoker, which we had to prepare obviously at the house. We try not to smoke too much because it affects the taste of the honey. And obviously, you know, you don't want to do that to the bees. Smoking is bad for your lungs. We don't want to do that to the bees too much, but you know, it's necessary to calm them down while we take out the honey or the things that Stacy's dad puts in for the bees to put their honeycomb on. And so we harvest that, we pull that out. In the first hive, which was really great, we found something super cool. They had built like proper fresh honeycomb on like kind of the roof of the beehive, and that part is like the best thing in the world because it's not like the other comb that's like all waxy, and like this part is like just honey with comb. It is absolutely delicious. Loved it. I had a taste, really cool. And so it's not often that you get that. And so we harvested that, we took all of the honey things out of this hive, and then we head back to the tent. So you offload the hive at the tent. You've got a few stray bees, so you be careful. You don't want to, we also try not to hurt the bees. So if there are bees stuck, we just kind of try to flick them off so they can fly back, find their way back to the hive. And so then we take the hive into the tent, hopefully with no bees in it. Normally very few bees left on the hive. We try to leave them behind. I'll explain how we do that in a little bit. Stick around. So put that in. Then the ladies who are in the tent will then take all of these comb parts out, because often what happens is the bees put like a wax layer in front of the comb, which is holding. So you've got a comb, inside is honey. The bees like put a little wax cap on top sometimes, and so the ladies are standing there with like, it's almost like those really old-fashioned, like those old disco movies. Those guys have that fancy comb for like their afro. Almost looks like one of those combs. And then they sit and they pick that out. It's not as slow a job as it sounds. You can see Stacy doing it here and having a blast. And so once we get the wax out of the honeycomb, it goes into this big circle drum that can hold, I think, 4 honeycomb things at a time. I think that's about the max. And then you spin. And you spin. And you spin and you spin. And basically this just flings the honey out of the comb onto the sides of the drum. The drum then funnels down and right out a little pipe into a bucket, and we collect gold, like literal gold. It is absolutely amazing. Some of the best honey you will ever taste in your life. Perfectly fresh. So we repeated this process 4 times. So you have 4 different hives. I might be wrong, might be 1 or 2 extra out there. Yeah, and we harvested this honey, and Stacy's dad, like I said, really loves this. He loves to do it, and he sells some of this honey in the community, raises a bit of extra money for him and Stacy's mom, but he's a very kind soul, so there's also like a whole list of people that he just gives honey to. And so yeah, so we harvested how many liters of honey that day from just 4 hives?
I think it was about 50.
About 50 liters of honey that we put in buckets, loaded up in the bucky or the truck or the, I don't know, I can't think of another name, it's a bucky or a truck, and headed home. Split the honey evenly, split the spoils between those that helped. And we then, what he does is he kind of filters it. So as he pours it out into he normally does I think 2-liter bottles, or he has some bigger bottles, but normally it's 2-liter like old cool drink bottles that he filters the honey into. He filters it, that gets out any pieces of honeycomb, or you know, sometimes a piece of bee gets stuck in there. So he'll pour it through, filter it out really nicely, put it into the bottle, and set it up to sell. So if anybody watching this who is in Paraguay, because unless you want to pay mad import fees and tax on sending honey, we do have enough liters to sell. And so yeah, you're welcome to leave a comment if you want us to send some honey, and we'll talk prices and business. And yeah, 40 liters of honey split out. He'll even have to leave the big circle drum that we spin the honey out in. He'll even have to leave that kind of tilted for a few days to just get that last bit out. And again, I don't think I can say this enough. This is some of the best honey that I've ever had in my life. Not processed, not gone through 5 different channels of, you know, chemicals or additives or anything. It is just off the comb, in the bottle, in your mouth, or on your toast, or wherever you put your honey. Like, I know Stacy's dad puts it everywhere. Like, he loves his honey, and I really, really loved learning, like, this experience, to learn about harvesting honey, to see how he does it, to, like, you know, being completely afraid that the bees are going to sting my face, because, like, they got aggressive. Like, there were bees, like, you know, like, in your face while you're wearing that hat thing. And yeah, I had the best time out there, and that was kind of our major thing in the last few weeks, except for the move now. Oh, I wanted to explain to you how it is that we get a part of the hive with not many bees. So what Stacy's dad does is the hives are 2-tiered, and I'm guessing this is common beehive practice. So in general, the bees don't stay in that top part of the hive. So they'll more live in one part and they'll build the honey and the comb in the other part. So when you smoke, they kind of will generally settle. They'll go to the bottom area, and then you can take the top part with not many bees in it. So you have this 2-story kind of thing going on. The queen cannot really get into, am I right? The queen can't get into the top one. This is for a good reason. Queens lay eggs. So if the queen gets in there, she lays a bunch of eggs where your honey is, and then you can't really harvest the honey. So it is designed in such a way that the queen cannot get over, just the workers who are making the honey. And so the bees don't live in that part. And so that's how we can get the honey with minimal thing. And obviously once you take these honeycomb stuff out and you harvest honey, you have to replace them so that the bees can make more honey. So another cool thing I learned was how to make these, or how to replace the wax paper that's in the middle of these honeycombs. So basically what it is it's a wooden frame with 3 wires across, 4 wires across, and you take this wax paper, you put it down, and then Stacy's dad, and you can see it in the video here, he'll run a current through it, and that kind of heats up the wax paper that I'm pushing down, and then the wax paper kind of melts around it, and then you don't heat it for too long, otherwise you just melt clean through and just cut the paper up. So you melt it a little bit on, it sticks in, and then you bam, you have that, and you just go and put that back in the hive, replace the hive, and Bob's your uncle, and you have another beehive. And in a couple of weeks, couple of months, depending on how productive the bees are, you come back and get some more honey. Really cool. We even had the opportunity to kind of place a new hive. There was an extra hive that was just kind of around, so we went and we found like a new place to put it, which is really cool. And yeah, that was my first experience harvesting honey, learning about harvesting honey, and yeah, bottling and filtering and spinning it out and helping out with pitching the tent and taking down the tent and driving up and down and getting incredibly hot in the bee suit, by the way. So that's it for this week. That was our major thing. We moved, but more on that last week. Like I said, we'll show you some of the house, we'll show you where we're staying. Just really happy that there's 100 people subscribed to our channel, because that means a lot to us. Thank you very much for sticking around. If you've made it this far, you are the supremest of supremes. We love you very much. You have graciously blessed us with your presence. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.